Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen and fellow young farmers. I would like to welcome you to Staffordshire County Showground, where back in the 1970s and 80s, the Bingley Hall was a popular concert venue. Well-known performers included the Rolling Stones, Status Quo, Queen and ABBA. And who knows, maybe later a new dancing queen or king will be found in the ballroom dancing competition. But please, don't stop me now for the national final of junior public speaking. I am Zoe Stanbury, the chairman of the Somerset team and a member of Langcourt Young Farmers, a club which has been going for 84 years. I enjoy all aspects of young farmers, from fundraising to stock judging. However, my utmost highlight is going on the South West Area Junior Camp in the Brecon Beacons. Oh, what fun was that? Now, on to the main part of the meeting. It is my honour to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Jacob Ryder from Yorkshire Young Farmers. Jacob is speaking on his grandpops. Jacob has been a member of Farnley Estate Young Farmers for 3 years. In the near future, he is going to be on the Yorkshire Vet, so I'm sure many of us will be seeing him again. If Jacob was in the circus, he would like to be the ringmaster, to give Hugh Jackman a run for his money. So, ladies and gentlemen, now on to the main reason we are here today, to listen to his speech on his grandpops.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Grandpops. That's a funny name, some might say, but I'm sure you all know exactly what it stands for. I'll bet that most people have had one, or still know of one now. You'll probably know them by another name, such as Grandad or Grandpa. If it's a more formal occasion, then even Grandfather might be appropriate. But for me, it's grandpops. Nothing more and nothing less. Just how has my grandpops become the special person he is? That person I can turn to. That non-judgmental, ever-caring rock that anyone would be proud to call theirs. He grew up with an older sister and younger brother. Middle child syndrome was not talked about as much in those days. But I would just say that had it been, then my grandpops would surely have been diagnosed. Let's just say that his brother and sister are quite strong characters. In what seemed like no time at all, Grandpops had his own family, and before long, his own son, my dad, who had left school and was working on the farm full time. Again, Grandpops playing piggy in the middle, with 2 strong personalities who both felt they were in charge. This is where I come into the equation. No more would Grandpops be playing piggy in the middle, as I was his grandson, and nothing came before that on his list of priorities. I became his greatest achievement. God only knows where my dad fits into that. Where I am concerned, nothing is a problem. No journey is too far, and almost nothing costs too much. Is this just me and my grandpops, or do other people have the same unique relationship that I do, I wonder? How does this come about? Where is that barrier broken down that lets him get to watch me play rugby for school, even though it's miles away and the game starts at 1:30? His match reports are legendary. Dad will ring to see how I've got on, and Grandpops will say, "It was a close game. If only they had 14 more Jacobs, it would have been all over by half-time." The other team had a dirty player though, who kept tackling Jacob. Bless him, with his grandson coloured spectacles. he only saw him tackle me because he only watches me play. So he's no real idea how the rest of the team actually play. We lost 45-5. Close enough for grandpops. I know my parents, like all parents, do sometimes get somewhat, let's say, aggrieved by the actions of my grandpops at times. They say he forgot he was a parent himself once. Like when they say, "No, I can't." This is translated by grandpops into, "We'll see, but you probably can." Or when they say, "Don't be having anything to eat before your tea," roughly means, "There's a Victoria sponge and chocolate cake that your granny has made you, and in the which you'd like, so I've cut you a slice of both." Or, if you'd rather, "There's a packet of Kit Kats in the fridge." You get my meaning. It's the same with time. It's as though time stands still in Grandpop's world. You'll have him home for 6:30, won't you? We have to set off at 7, and we need him back in time to get ready. Yes, no problem, comes the answer. Not a chance, and I think my parents know it. One less turn on the quad bike, or not going in for afternoon tea. If only he had said no to one of these requests, then we might have had a fighting chance of making it back for at least 6:45. I'm sure it would have saved Grandpops another family court-martialing. Oh, they did go on a bit, was his response, as it often is. He usually acts as a buffer between me and any slightly sticky situation I find myself in. The only time I do get a bit fed up with Grandpops is on a journey with him. It's like he turns into another person. He never shuts up. He knows where everybody lives and who lived there before them. Dad always tells everyone that Grandpops only has 12 stories, and I know them all well. We always have a laugh when he sets off on another, as someone will say, "This is number 7. He knows what we mean, but carries on anyway. I know my Grandpops has my back, and as I stand here in front of you wearing one of his favourite caps, I know I am one lucky lad, and I would love, if one day, that my grandson is as proud of me as I am of my Grandpops. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob, for a very interesting and funny speech about someone or something we all have in our life and many of us take for granted. Now we come on to the questions part of this afternoon. Due to time restrictions today, we will only be having one question from Tia Stanbury, the Somerset team proposer, and one from our judges. So I'd like to invite Tia to stand up and ask the first question.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Can I just say what a pleasure it is to be here today at Stafford County Showground. What a delight we have had today listening to Jacob speak on his grandpops. Not only was it interesting, but it was also very funny. I have learnt so much, and I am sure you all feel the same. I was very interested in your comments on how he likes watching you play football. The question I would like to propose to Jacob is, why did you get a good connection with your grandpops? Do you understand the question?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Well, since the day I was born, really, I've always had a really good connection with Grandpops. Until I was born, it was him and Dad. And Dad could sometimes get a bit annoying for Grandpops because all they ever spoke about was business. And Dad always wanting to be the boss, sometimes bossed Grandpops around a bit too much. But as soon as I came, it was like Grandpops could have free time with me, and he always looks forward to getting out with me because he's free to do other stuff, rather than when he's with Dad, he's all under Dad's management. But when he's with me, he's free and it's all fun what we do. Thank you.
to ask if our judges have a question for Jacob.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's obviously that your grandpapa is a very special person to you. What is the greatest inspiration he has given you?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Well, I've had a lot of inspirations by grandpops. Some not so good, but some very good. Some of the good things that I've had grandpops is his character, really. He's just really nice, too nice to everyone, really. He's just really kind, and he's not really got a mean bone in him, to be fair. And farming, he's a very good farmer. He's got lots of sheep on his farm, and I'm always up there helping grandpops. And I just think that he's really great, and I think if I follow his character, I could be a good man when I'm older. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to call upon Tia Stanbury. Tia is 12 years old and also a member of Langcourt Young Farmers. But she has been a member for only 7 months, having joined just 10 days before the county round of junior public speaking. In her spare time, Tia enjoys helping on her family farm and has a pet lamb called Larry. But today she'll be doing the vote of thanks.
Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen and fellow young farmers, what a great time it has been for us all to be a part of this wonderful afternoon. Jacob thoroughly entertained and educated us in such a fantastic way. This has been an amazing afternoon and my first ever time at a national final. I'm looking forward to watching some of the other competitions and cheering on my fellow Somerset young farmers. This is the furthest north I've ever travelled. I've enjoyed the trip here, well, except from the tailbacks and contraflows on the motorway. I had such a pleasure looking forward to the county showground and would love to return when the show is in full swing, and maybe even with one of my show sheep. It is now my pleasure to say a few thank yous. First of all, thank you to our judges, Mrs Davies and Mrs Wakeford, for giving up their time today. And finally, a huge thank you to our speaker, Jacob. I know that everyone here has very much enjoyed your speech today, so let us join together in a well-deserved round of applause.
Ladies, gentlemen and fellow young farmers, I would like to thank you all for coming this afternoon to support our junior public speakers, and I wish you a safe journey home. However, you may want to break free after a long day watching many competitions, but you might consider visiting Prince's Park in Burntwood, just a short drive away, which is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the smallest park in the UK. However, at first glance, it looks like a roundabout with just 2 trees, and it is. Whilst you're there, think about how you can show some appreciation to a family member you could not live without. There being no further business, I declare this meeting closed.